The item number 19, the report of the Housing Committee, Glenn and Pauline. Moved Glenn, seconded Pauline. Right.
Thank you. If I quickly just give you a rundown on status of our social housing. We have 84% of our units open, 306 on our waiting list. Unfortunately, it's continued to grow. I'm coming to the Part A item. Pardon? 84%. Yeah. So that's 2,219 units open. 290 units repaired. I think we're over 300 now. Just given the time lag with the report, our Ds are completed. We opened 12 new units last week, as you know. EQC negotiations continue. We have various tenders out at the moment or in the process of it. One includes that for red zone houses with that trial proposed to shift them. Open tender. Anyone is welcome to go onto tender link if they wish to participate. The main thrust of this report is to endorse staff preparing a report on prioritisation of the social housing asset repair and rebuild program. So that is the Part A part of this report which seeks the Council's agreement.
The number in here, the total social housing, 2,663 units, including the last week Morris Quarter, or separate.
I'll check with staff over that. If we can just, does that latest number include the Morris Carter Court, 12 additional units? Pardon? Just with the time lag and reports between council meetings, Jimmy? Okay. Yeah.
But the number open, Jimmy, is 2219, not 2663. That's the total portfolio, but that includes the ones in the red zone and the ones that aren't. Yep. But they're not all of those are open. Okay, any more questions? Sorry, Yanni, Raf was next, sorry.
Can I speak to a staff member about the insurance claim on the social housing?
Darren Moses, Facilities Rebuild Manager.
Hello, Darren. What's the latest status of the insurance claim with EQC?
The latest status, the technical negotiations on both parties are still ongoing with a view to refining the final delta between both parties probably within, I would imagine, the next month, with a view to then leaving that delta for the negotiating team to then take it into negotiations.
Okay. Now, I was under the impression that we were going to get another $10 million cheque from them quite shortly. What's the latest on that?
The latest on that is I've left a message with Ian Simpson of EQC, who's left a message with me a couple of weeks back talking about the 10 million coming through in a week or so, so I'm chasing.
So a week or so from when?
From about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
The money has not yet been received.
Right. So would you be able to follow that up today?
Yes.
And then I can chase that up. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. You know, this is obviously taking longer than we would have hoped. I think at the committee we were told that we've done our work. We're now waiting for EQC to basically do theirs, finish their work. When we understand there'll be an amount that we have a difference on, I think you called it the delta, but the money under that is intention that that money will come to us. I mean, I heard about the 10 million. Obviously, there'll be more than that. Is it a process for us to get the transfer of that money up until that agreed point? So the only amount that becomes outstanding is the difference?
There's no requirement on EQC to do that, and in fact, the additional 10 million that they're talking about returning to us comes close to an area into which they might become uncomfortable around the delta. So I do think the best path forward, like it is for some of the other parts, is to try and get agreement on the overall sum that EQC and us can agree on.
Right. And then the second question I have is, at the committee meeting, we heard a quite good deputation from former councillor David Close, and we have asked for a full financial breakdown. When can we expect to get the detailed information around the housing so that we can understand the essence for those councillors that weren't there of his deputation was really questioning why there's no money in the housing fund, given the issue around depreciation, given he had some quite simple calculations that would show that we should at least have been making a profit. So,
We will be submitting the financial report at the next Housing Committee.
Can we get it before then? Because I think it's relevant to the consultation we're currently out with our community. And one of the concerns that was raised by Mr. David Close was the fact that people being asked to make submissions on some assumptions without understanding the underlying financial reason why we're in that situation. So I think it's really important we release this information as soon as possible so that we can have informed submissions to our social housing consultation.
I think we could do it sooner, but I'd still do it through the committee. We could have a special committee meeting if you want. I think it's messy if we go out without committee process. Sorry to cut in, I just thought I'd put my...
Yes, so the information will be ready for the next Housing Committee. The information that's gone out around the statement of proposal and the summary of information contains a lot of information about all of the 20 plus options and their impact on the housing fund. So there's substantial financial analysis, and also each of those options has been considered in terms of the impact on rates as well.
Appropriate, would you be able to confirm that the money that is outstanding from EQC and has been for a very, very long time, are we also seeking interest on that?
Not an easy question, although it sounded reasonably easy. The money which EQC has said that they're willing to forward to us isn't a requirement at this point. It's not an obligation on them. However, as with many claims, as your individual claims escalate through time and cost escalation, you reach particular cap limits. So there will be increases in the claim that are inherent within the time frame as the longer it takes to close it out.
Thanks, Vicky. I just wanted to pick up on Yanni's point, and I think where you're coming from, Yanni, correct me if I'm wrong, but that with the consultation around the housing, there seems to be a perception that it cannot function, social housing is not working. And what we've called for is the report of the accounts that may show that something has gone wrong, it's been mismanaged, or there's some other reason why it's not functioning. And I think in that light of that, it is part of the consultation, that it's some information that should be known, because people may have a different response if they believe that it's not performing, that it cannot perform. In actual fact, historically, as David Close spoke to us and said it did in the past. So is that where you were coming from? Yeah. The consultation close?
The consultation closes on the 26th of June.
Yep, that was the only item. The other items are for information.